Thank you guys for tuning in to the Realist and the Visionary podcast. Our podcast can be listened on all major streaming apps. Join us on our website at www.therealistthevisionary.com. Click that first tab and hop in our community chat.
Facts. Share some feedback and show us some love. Talk to us about anything. Also head over to The Righteous Speaks to be featured on our show. So go ahead, check out the website at www.therealistthevisionary.com. Cheers. The Realist.
The Visionary.
The Realist.
The Visionary.
The Realist.
The Visionary.
The realist.
And the Visionary.
Cheer. And this show is brought to you by
StruggleLife.net. Make sure you go grab the remaining On Your Struggle caps and the remaining AIT on StruggleLife.net.
Where my name is Tina and I am the Realist.
And your boy Dust the Visionary.
Yes, thank you for tuning in to another episode. We appreciate the love and the support. Please do us a favor. Follow us on TikTok and IG at The Realist the Visionary. And head over to the website at www.therealistthevisionary.com. What's good, everybody? What's good, Dutch?
What's up?
What's up? You know, there has been a lynching.
Yeah.
Which is some crazy shit. Well, it's not that crazy. Right, guys? I'm sure y'all heard about the 21-year-old black student that was discovered hanging from a tree at Delta State University in Mississippi. And they're ruling it as a suicide.
Now it's a suicide.
You know that's a lie.
Yep.
They've been doing that. There's been a lot of hangings these past couple of years.
It has.
Right? Wasn't the twins? You remember those two black twins? Didn't they discover their bodies in the wilderness? I don't know if there was like a noose involved. But they keep pushing this narrative that these black, teenagers or people are hanging themselves.
Right.
So, I don't know. This time it's getting crazy. Between the Charlie Kirk psyop,
right?
White America crashing out, sending threats to HBCUs. Now all of a sudden we have this boy Trey Reed is his name, who was hung on a tree.
Mm-hmm.
This time is very reminiscent of civil rights era.
Yeah, they're trying to wake that up.
Yeah, like it feels like the 40s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
It does. Even with the rhetoric online, I'm sure that there's a good majority of bots, right? Like AI that's pushing the different narratives to incite, rage.
Right.
But I do believe that some accounts are real people that just kind of like chime in and they continue the narrative.
Oh yeah, this bots is being controlled to definitely keep spending certain things. If people ever like click with those accounts of saying like it's just off the wall stuff, it'll just be like a person with like no followers. Granted, that could just be a random person still, because there's people out there who got Instagram and don't have nothing posted. You know what I mean? So, the
AI is giving them backstories too. They might make an account that has a date that was created 10 years ago. Have a few pictures to make it look legitimate, but it's still not a real person.
Right.
So this is the day that we're living in.
Yeah.
Also, I was telling Dutch I had came across that Charlie Kirk and George Floyd, they share a birthday.
Yeah.
Crazy shit, right? Just further proves that whole shit is a psyop.
Yep.
And people believe that, which is crazy.
That whole shit was set up.
They were born on October 14th. He was born in 1993 and George Floyd was 1973. Come on, what the fuck is the odds of that?
Right.
There's just no odds. Even how people point out like the way that he quote unquote got shot.
Right.
He got shot in the neck. George Floyd, what happened? Died of the knee and neck. Yeah.
And he done spoke about George Floyd a few times.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It was really just a Freemasonic sacrifice. In my opinion, like all the awards that they gave him for after dying and stuff, you know. Like, I mean, this guy said he didn't even go to college, you know. So he definitely was a part of some type of fraternity or some type of cult, I'll say, which is what this episode is about.
Yeah.
You know, what else was going on? Mainstream, on some mainstream shit, but still within the episode realm. Bill Calise, aka Cardi B, drops an album, and the symbolism all over it is pretty blatant. I don't know how everybody like looks past it. Got these two crows. She's in a red dress, black and white checkered stuff around. It's like the second time she dropped the album with all this black and white checkered floor shit, and you know, it's really witch like. And I think like the first two songs, like I think one is called like Death. You know what I'm saying? Like you start off the song with like shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, me just like looking through the stuff and looking at the social media, I'll say. I mean, first off, looking at her antics leading up to it, and I know it's all marketing, but it's a disturbing marketing that I could say is genius and sick at the same time. And I realize nowadays, like people like myself who could admire some like dark humor, like I could admire the marketing strategy that they chose to run with and the dedication that I guess she puts behind to embody this character that she's trying to be. Like they did a great job at really brainwashing, you know, their fans and the masses who listen, you know what I mean? It's disturbing, you know, like I had to look back, like, you know, again, just going into the media surface level, we ain't gonna get deep into all the extra symbolism within her album and all the other stuff, but just outside surface level, shorty is married to a nigga who had a bunch of kids already, rapper shit, cheated on her, she want to get back, fucked with the next dude, pregnant by him, allegedly was fucking him while pregnant with the last nigga's kid.
It's not alleged, she said that.
Right, she said it was fucking a nigga while she's pregnant with the last nigga kid, and then this nigga still impregnates her with the next kid. And now the children thing is a whole nother realm of, I feel like the children are used as sacrifices for them. You know, and her, you know, having, like, this is the second time thing you brought it up, that she had to have a kid to push the album, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, this the whole wrap around, like, the girls just championing, like, oh, look at this pregnant woman doing all these, you know, things, these amazing things while she's pregnant, and she's going on tour and a whole nine and whoop-de-whoop. And I'm just like, you know, it's disturbing. And, you know, everyone's joking like, oh, she's pregnant with this nigga kid and she's still married to this dude, so the nigga can't sign a birth certificate because it's according to the law, you know, whoop-de-whoop. And I'm just like, yo, you know, it's really disturbing how y'all co-signing this. The girls love it. Some girls love it. Some girls who have brains realize it's kind of disturbing, and they choosing not to even partake in it or even bring light to it. But I just think the reason why I'm shedding light to it is because I look at, you know, music and everything going back into the youth, and the youth is who really is gonna carry that. And you know, we came through different eras already of this thought shit. You know, this is going on a decade of like full blown Jezebel spirit. Like it's like, I'm talking about to the max. You know, we came out the Little Kim going into the Nicki era of thottiness, and then now we got like max level hypersexual for the last like 7-8 years.
Yeah, like with Sexy Red and nasty shit. Like,
I mean, yeah, you got the Sexy Red, had the Megans, had the, you know, and the other bitches in between, you know what I mean? Like the Suki Hanas and the Trinas, you know what I mean? Like we went through eras of just the hypersexual thing. And right now I feel like it's at its peak. If it's not at its peak, it's at its max where it's going to evolve into some next shit. So when these youngins who are like 16, 17, and they start stepping into the world, their mindset is going to be what this music is projecting for those who are engulfed in it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's always the generations. Like, yeah, all the generations reflect all the different media programming.
Right. And I think and that's why I'm like, it's a disturbing time to be in, you know?
Yeah, I just feel like, we went through it.
Yeah.
Just down to like how we carry ourselves. I mean, not everybody.
Not everybody, right.
Some people, they were grounded and they didn't even, get
partake
deep into that type of stuff.
They appreciate it for what it was. And that's it.
But no, not even that. I'm not even saying like appreciate. They just weren't involved. They grew up a certain type of way where their parents didn't have them engulfed in that type of stuff. But when you're kind of engulfed in it, it's like normalized. So it's like you just want to, imitate art. Right. So you start dressing and talking like these characters.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, like, I know I was doing it. Right. Like, how I was carrying myself back then. You just trying to be cute. You just trying to be in. Like, you think this is how you supposed to conduct yourself. And it's really a spell. Because, it's funny, we watched, Pop the Balloon with Arlette every now and then. And the women on the show, they might try to present themselves a certain type of way. But when you do, like, the deep dive into their Instagram, social media, a lot of them are, like, just dots. Like, they just dot, bop, 304s, whatever you want to call them, the way that they carry themselves. And they always want to put, like, quote unquote God in their bio, and they want to get on this show and are you a man of God? And then everything that they do is the complete opposite. I don't think they can even understand the connect. When I was younger and I was out and about, whatever, and I was carrying myself very similar, I knew deep down inside something was wrong. I would do it, but I knew, like, I really shouldn't be dressing like this. I shouldn't be hanging out, drinking, and doing all this other stuff. Like, I used to pray in shame. Like, I used to know something was wrong. I don't know if these girls know something is wrong. I think the spell is really deep in them. I don't even know.
They don't. I ain't gonna say they don't know something is wrong. Some of them don't care enough.
You can't be busting it open, doing all this other stuff, and then talk about I need a man of God. Like that, you must be talking about Satan. You know what I'm saying? That's how entwined they are. They can't really tell. Like, come on, like, it don't even make any sense. And then half the people, they don't read the scriptures. They don't even know what's in the book. They can't correlate nothing. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I don't know how we got here. But yeah, as far as like the media and the music and the sports, right? So, since we're here, you want to jump into the show?
Yeah.
All right. This is episode 278, and the title of the show is called Him Movie Review.
The Him Movie Review.
Yep, Him Movie Review. So, this past weekend, me and Dutch, we went to the movie theaters and we saw Him, okay? And it is a sports horror film. Now, it was directed and co-written by a man named Justin Tipping. But they're just pushing the Jordan Peele name. I wish Jordan Peele wouldn't let them do that.
Right, because a lot of people are trying to check it out for some Jordan Peele shit.
They think it's him.
They're like, he's producing it or whatever the fuck it is, but it's not.
He's producing it. So it's his Monkey Paw Productions. Now, as far as the cinematography goes, he probably had a lot of influence on that, the way this shit was shot. But everything else, he has really nothing to do with it. But they're highlighting his name before the actual director and the writers. So he shouldn't do that, because then people are going to assume that it's his work, especially the title. Because, he does like the one-word titles for his films. Mm. I just don't think he should have done that. Like, nah, just separate it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I get it, because his name is big. But, nah, they shouldn't have done that. But, yeah, the film stars Marlon Wayans, right?
Yep.
He plays a character named Isaiah White. And then this actor I'm not really familiar with, but people said he's starred in a few things. His name is Tyreek Withers. And he plays Cameron Cade. So those are the main characters, right? And I was doing research on Tyreek Withers. You know what's interesting, Dutch? He actually attended Florida State University, where he was a wide receiver. Okay. All right. Yeah. So he was playing football. I'm just saying that I thought it was interesting that he actually had a football career.
Oh, the actor?
Yeah.
Okay.
The guy who played Cameron Cade, Tyreek Withers. He played for the Seminoles. Yep. And they also highlight on his wiki, right, that he became a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. I think that's important that they did that. I think that was very telling that they did that.
Right.
So you already see that he's already locked in. Mm-hmm. He's already brotherhood. So,
they all are.
Yeah, they all are. But I'm saying, like, it's interesting that, you know, this is kind of like his breakout role in a sense. Even though I think he's been in another movie. Somebody said, like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, like the remake or something. Mm-hmm. But that ain't, you know, that's not it. This is probably, like, more so his breakout role.
Right. It's probably going to be one of his biggest roles.
Yeah. So, before we get into the deep dive, and by the way, spoiler alert, I always got to do this on our film reviews. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the film and you don't want to be spoiled by the plot, by just certain scenes, then click off the show, come back after you watch it, okay? How would you rate the film, Dutch? On a 5-star rating.
3.
3?
It's like, and I give it a 3-star because I think not that I wanted more, but it was like okay for me. You know what I mean? Because I'm used to that type of consumption of a thing, if that makes sense. I like to watch documentaries. I'll probably watch, I don't know, 40, 50 like Illuminati, Freemason, fraternity, Alpha Phi, Alpha Omega documentaries and shit. Like, I deep dove into this shit when I was in college. So to see them put it on the screen on some movie shit was like boring. You know what I mean? But not boring, but it was like, okay, show me more. You know what I mean? I wanted a little action. I really did want a football scene. I wanted to see what they were going to go with this. But to see what they did with it was cool.
Hold on, let me get my rating. Because I'm going to get my rating. Damn, I can't get my rating? It's only about you?
Yeah.
It's only about your review?
Yeah.
Goodness. So I give it... I'd give it a 4 out of 5. I mean, okay. It's not like I didn't like the film. It was kind of disturbing. It was just things that we already knew. It's just like everything that we know that the people in the industry do is just kind of like coming to light.
They've been very blatant, the industry lately. I'm talking about Max. Like, they always been blatant, but like other movies, you had to like kind of pick and choose if you was going to figure out what a scene meant. Nowadays, they're just showing you. They don't give a fuck. They're just showing niggas. I
think so.
Yeah,
even when it comes to our history, as far as us being the chosen people, just certain
they just showing
films. They're really
they
showing
don't give
it.
A fuck no
People
more.
are not tapping in though, which is crazy. Like
they just thinking it's a movie, and I don't understand why. See, remember the rules is, guys, with these people in power, quote unquote. One of the rules I remember seeing that they have to tell you what they're going to do. They have to tell you the truth in some form or fashion. They can't say that they didn't tell you. You understand?
Yeah.
So to do it in the most blatant fashion is like, what more do you get from that? I always ask niggas, what would they do if they told us the truth? And here we are with them telling us the truth, and I don't know what people are doing with it.
So, it's funny. I was like checking out some people do some reviews of the film, and a lot of people didn't get it. A lot of critics, they didn't understand the film at all. They were like, what's the point? Like, the most that people are saying is that it's demonic. That's all that they're saying.
Yeah.
They can't get past nothing.
I didn't expect the average dumbass to understand the whole film.
I don't see how.
So, but those who like, again, I said earlier, those who like conspiracies, those who like to look into that occult shit, those who understand the Masonic symbolism or that goat stuff and could entertain the thoughts of certain things, will come on to spiritual soul swapping, etc., all that weird shit. If you could entertain all that shit, then you will understand this whole entire film. If your brain can't even fathom half that shit, this film is not for you.
I will say that the film is extremely dark.
It's very dark.
I mean, it's a horror film, but
it's not even horror. It's a little gory. I wouldn't call it horror. There was nothing scary in there. It was just.
It was. I mean,
it was gory.
I didn't get gory until the end, really, and it wasn't like super gory because I don't like gore. But It was violent.
It was violent.
Yeah, it was pretty violent. So some of the main characters, right? Like I said, Isaiah White, that's played by Marlon Wayans. He is the quote-unquote GOAT quarterback for the San Antonio Saviors, okay? Keep that in mind, the name of this team. Then, like I said, Tyreek Withers, that's Cameron Cade. He is the rookie. He is the rising star. He is supposed to be the new GOAT, right? Somebody who's looking to be drafted into the league.
The movie starts with them, the Saviors is playing the team called the Atlanta Masons.
Yeah, the Atlanta Masons.
I feel like they started off the whole movie letting you know exactly what blatancy there was going to be on. Like, I've never seen a movie start like that.
Yeah, and the setting is in Texas, and like most of the film is in like a remote desert compound in Texas, right? Now, he has a family. They briefly show his brother, his mother, his girl. We'll get into that a little bit when we go through the story. But
just get into it.
You want to just get into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like I said, the movie starts. The main character is in the football game. Whoop de whoop. Then he breaks his leg. Right, gets into a bad injury. The Tyree kid, his
Cameron.
I don't want to say Tyreek, whatever. Cameron, his dad is trying to get him into sports from an early age, and I like how they showed this scene because and it's like still the beginning. They show how fathers get their kids hyped up into sports. You know what I'm saying? Your kid starts to be engulfed in sports. Your kid wants to be in sports and do all this other stuff for you. Fathers and mothers, parents in general, will come out to the kids in sports. They glorify sports. So this kid grew up just wanting to be a football player. So fast forward, what happened?
One key thing in that opening scene with the father is that Isaiah White was playing, right? And he got injured during the game, and his father was fixated on it. He was like, see, that's what it means. That's what it means to, like pretty much, advance the game, be a man. Like he equated that to manlyhood, and he kept saying that real men are willing to make sacrifices. See, we can't bypass shit because that's important. That's like the setup of this entire film. Mm-hmm. So he was saying that real men are willing to make sacrifices. That's what he kept preaching to his son when he was showing the injury. And it was a bad injury. It was one of the injuries with the bone sticking out, bloody and everything. Mm-hmm. So like Dutch said, he was indoctrinated as a child, like sports idolatry. I just want to pause here. That shit is very real as far as the idolatry with the sports with men.
Well, yeah, for sure. Like they will raise your kid. Your dad's a go hard Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He done had his man cave, his picks, Steelers out, and he's telling you you're going to be one of the one of the best players for the Steelers. He might even have had a job with them at one point, so he's always around them. Or the dad might coach, for that particular sport that he's in love with. So that indoctrination, I guess, as you say, will come on to that idolatry of sports starts from an early age.
Yeah, I remember us kicking it with some people that we used to kick it with, and they had a baby. The baby was like, what? Eagles. What was the football team that he used to chant? Whatever team he used to chant. You see how it starts at a young age? That baby was young too. Had to be not like older than 3. Like just chanting the football thing. And I think about my father and how he used to watch his team and how it would control his emotions. Mm-hmm. If they lost, fucked up mood for the rest of the day. That's some serious shit, Or if they win, we're in a great mood,
I mean, that's us with the Knicks.
No,
not as bad. The Knicks lose, but when they start winning is when we get emotional. Like, yo, you better fucking win.
But we all know it's scripted. At least we do.
Well, yeah, we know it's scripted. It's just fun to hope that they win one day. But anywho, yeah, it starts from an early age, and then and I also found interesting that within this movie they kept showing, they try to show Christianity in and out. So there was moments where because his dad had a cross chain. And they was letting the cross chain float as he was telling him real men make sacrifices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the chain kind of floated in the scene next to the kid's head. And I was like, okay, this is a significant moment as to why they even showed it in this format. You know?
Yeah, because the whole film is duality. That's what Masonic shit is anyway. So they're gonna sit here and teeter totter between the Christianity and then what
Satanic
Satan.
shit.
Yeah, Satan does. So that's exactly what it was doing.
So Isaiah White, he like you were saying, he was already the star. He already had eight Super Bowl rings. This, that, and the third. He was the quote unquote GOAT, as you said, and also the quarterback and the whole nine. And the team, the Saviors, needed to recruit a new quarterback because Isaiah's contract was up and he was getting older, etc. And this is something that they do with all the sports, when it comes to sports, entertainment, everything. So when I say sports, I put wrestling in there, baseball in there, soccer, football, basketball. They do this type of thing with those certain teams with certain positions, you know. So, you know, like the Patriots, when they lost Tom Brady, who's going to be the next Tom Brady on the Patriots or for the Patriots, or who's going to be the next star?
Let's put tennis. Let's put Serena.
Serena
just retired her little GOAT status, and now
who she passed it to?
There's a new black girl on the rise.
See, passing over the torches. Wrestling, we watched it go from The Rock, Stone Cold, pass it to the John Cena's, pass it to the Cody Rhodes. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. So we watched this thing get passed around. Even in basketball, you got the LeBrons, Kobe passing it to LeBron, or as people put Jordan passing it to LeBron, or whatever the case might be. A lot with basketball, but we're not gonna get into it too deep. But they pass this power down. You know what I mean? Whoever gets into this GOAT position is in the script and is made for them to do.
Let's just talk about the GOAT symbolism and what it really means. So they say greatest of all time, but really that's
just the acronym that some random ass nigga made and it worked.
Yeah, but it really is Baphomet.
It's a Baphomet.
It's really Satan.
And most people know that. And majority of people know that GOAT is a Baphomet thing, satanic thing. They just throw the acronym over it to make it sound safe.
Even the title of the film, Him, right? Because like Him, Powerpuff Girls.
Right, that's the first thing I thought of.
Flamboyant devil figure.
Flamboyant, demonic. Right.
There was actually a satanic heavy metal group named Him, and their like main logo was like a pentagram, but they made it into like a heart shape. Like the top portion wasn't like a star; it was like a shaped into a heart. And they call it the hetagram or the heartogram or something like that.
Weird.
But Him is Satan.
Right.
Himothy. So niggas who call themselves Himothy, nigga, right. You calling yourself a tranny Baphomet. That's what you calling yourself. Like, so yeah. But go ahead, continue on.
Yeah. So
he's trying to get recruited.
Yeah, he's practicing, he's trying to get recruited, and he has a moment where he's just still practicing his throw before, like his day before, or maybe the week before he's supposed to be getting recruited or having all these, media coverage and stuff like that. And he notices that the football that he threw just keeps spinning by itself and just spinning very fast in a nice tight spiral. And the football, the poles, the yellow poles, the field goal is just shaking nonstop. And there's these little spirits, these spirits that are like floating around these guys wearing these like colorful costumes, like bulls and with horns coming out their head and stuff. I'm not sure exactly what each of these different deities or spirits represent, but the spirits would just pop up out of nowhere. And this particular spirit in the beginning had literally cracked this dude's skull open. Yeah, it was like
the devil was behind him.
Right.
Yeah, it was like a Baphomet figure. Hit him right over the head.
And
that's important.
Yeah,
keep that in mind.
That's important because I want to say, for those who don't believe that spiritual entities walk around this planet like that, they do, and you'll be surprised, like all that paranormal activity of when you just like a nigga just floating because the spirit like choking them or some shit. That shit is really happening. You know what I mean? So the fact that the spirit was able just to hit him over the head and crack his skull, and then he had to go have surgery, and then now they're worried about, is he going to be able to play football? He already got this crazy ass skull surgery, and we already know how bad the football players have it when it comes on to head injuries. For those who don't know, you go do your research, they head injuries in football and cause a lot of concussions and all kind of mental disorders. These niggas killed themselves, killed their family, and the whole nine. You know, it's a whole documentary about it.
When we walk through the story, you guys are going to see the MK Ultra, but I just want to point out that I believe that was the beginning of breaking, like cracking his mind, like the beginning of it.
Right. Break open your mind.
Yeah, that was definitely the beginning of it.
And the way they stapled his head together was the same amount of stitches as they put on the football finger part.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was counting them. And then, so he gets his head fixed and everything, and he still makes it to, like, you know, his little opening day, and you know, he's just stressed out. He's worried about whether he's gonna make it to whatever team or not, but he kept saying he got it, he good, because this is what he wanted. And pretty much so he gets recruited. His lawyer
by the Savior,
right, by the Saviors, right? That was the big hype. You know what I'm saying? Is the Saviors going to recruit this young quarterback that everybody's talking about? So they decided to recruit him. And boom. So now movie speeds up. Oh, by the way, he starts off the movie with a black girlfriend. His high school sweetheart is a black girl. I feel like it's important to point out.
Definitely.
He has a black girlfriend, and from coming out of high school or college, wherever he's at, before he goes to the league.
Yeah, it's important because we already know that most black stars, athletes, they start off with a black woman. Even like entertainers in the music industry, they start off black and then magically
end up with some white girl.
End up with some white or some other
race
type
chick,
of girl.
Yeah.
So when we look at Isaiah White, which is Marlon Wayans' character, it's kind of like a sped up version because he's already quote unquote the GOAT, right?
Right, he's already in. So you see his life, and he's married to this, I don't know, man.
This manly looking ass.
I want to see exactly what you're talking about. That motherfucker
androgynous type of.
That shit looked like
tranny.
It looked like them from White Chicks.
Yeah, it looked like that. Yeah, like it do look like.
It
is that Sean in there?
Yeah, it looked like it could have been Sean
playing
this fucking chick.
But yes, the character's name is Elsie White, so that's the wife, and she's supposed to be this influencer, quote unquote. She's like Kardashian-esque, if that makes sense, like that type of realm. But anyways, yeah. So, like you said, his agent got back to him and they said, we're gonna make you an offer because, you know, the head injury was very serious. Like before he even got to that point, he thought he was out because if he gets hit a certain type of way, it would like just change his entire life, like the trauma to his brain.
Right.
And so he was going through a point where he wasn't going to continue on like showcasing his talents, and he kind of like backed off, but then his agent gave him a call and was like, yo, we can get you to the Saviors. You just got to train with Isaiah White.
Right. Now, it's important to point this because you got this head injury that's life-threatening, and the quote-unquote Saviors, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Want to give you a shot. So, boom, like you said, he had to go train with Isaiah White for about a week, though, before going through the whole recruitment. So, they bring him to Isaiah White's crib, and he has crazy-ass fans. They showcase these fans in front of his house, right?
Is that really his crib, or is that just like one of his training compounds?
I mean, I think that was his home.
Interesting.
I mean, the football stadium was like, looked like it was right there, or that was training area was right there, but I think that was his home.
I think he owned that place.
Yeah, that was his place.
Yeah.
Because he had all the trophies and all his personal shit in there. So, yeah. So, they bring him to this home, and he got these crazy-ass fans outside his crib that just worship him, idol worship. They're yelling at the dude, telling him, we don't want you here, we don't want you here.
This is like straight demons. Just like straight witches,
just
warlocks.
Tweaked out. You know what I mean? He gets in the crib. Amazon, I don't know how much they paid for that. But Amazon had their packages in front of his crib.
He brought
in
them
the middle of fucking nowhere.
He brought it in. I completely forgot about that.
Because I don't know. Because when it happened, I was just like, Amazon must have paid a lot of money just to have some boxes in front of this nigga's house. Just to say, no matter where you at in the world, Amazon will be there, right?
Yeah.
But it's important to point that out too, guys, because, you know, these little innuendos is very important. Anyway, Amazon stock's probably gonna be booming. He gets in the crib and he starts, you know, he's looking around and he sees, like, you know, these weird ass pictures, and the guy got a lot of just like, he got little skulls here and there, like goat skulls, and he got a lot of animal skin laying around and all this other stuff, and he's just like looking around the crib. Like, you see a lot of just of weird statues and weird shit in the crib.
Yeah, throughout the film, you're gonna see him be haunted by hallucinations of goats and all this different demonic shit. Like, really, the theme you're gonna see throughout the entire film is the goat heads and blood. Like, that's like the main themes, and the black and white checker floor. So, like, when you look and you research what a goat head means, like on a spiritual tip, it means strength, duality, and transformation. I want you to keep that in your mind when we talk about the film, because that's really what they focus on when he's like training, like strength, and then we know duality as far as the dark and the light.
Right. Because Marlon has a monologue that he tells him, like, you know, you got to be able to walk through that dark tunnel to come out to the light on the field. Yeah,
and then the transformation that's the entire purpose of him even being there, is to transform into this new version of himself. Right.
So you have to be able to murder the old you to become the new you.
Yeah, they kept quoting surviving the death of who you used to be.
And like, it was deep because, like, for those, like, even if you didn't look at it on some OD cult like shit, these are things that anybody goes through in their own life when they're just growing up and maturing. Hell, when we get out of high school, they tell you to forget everything you learned in high school because you have to relearn everything in college. You know what I mean? They say with the things that you learned in high school, half of this is lies. You got to relearn half that shit in college to get to the truth. So, according to transforming yourself, you do have to let go of your old self to become a new version of you.
So that's where the duality comes, because we know that even when the Most High takes the blinders off of our eyes, it's the same thing coming back as a babe, relearning everything, because everything was taught to us as a lie.
Right.
So it's the same thing, but it's the flip side. It's the evil side. Like, even the Church of Satan, right? Directly on their website, they have Q&As that says, like, what is a satanic ritual, right? And this is their answer, right? Greater magic, which is our name for our ritual practice, is basically meant as self-transformational psychodrama. That it serves as a means to purge oneself of unwanted emotional baggage that might be hindering a daily pursuit of joy in life. Keep that quote in mind. This is real. What I just quoted was really what they have
no one
on their shit. Fake. No, I'm just saying some people might. I don't know. But I'm saying, like, that applies to this entire film and, like, what they're trying to do to Cameron Cade as far as get him to transform and to become this new evil entity, right? Like, just of his former self. So just keep that in mind. I also thought it was interesting that Isaiah White, his name is Isaiah, because we know Isaiah is a prophet in the Bible, right? Mm-hmm. And Isaiah in Hebrew means God is salvation, right? Mm-hmm. And Isaiah, he saw himself as the Most High. Like, and that's surface level Satanism, guys. Like, when you want to look at the textbook version of Satanism, it's seeing yourself as a god. Right? We know that it's deeper spiritually, that these people really are serving Satan. But that's what it is. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then throughout the film, they keep asking Cameron, what are you willing to sacrifice? Right?
Right. And every time asking that, Cameron, you know, it gets more intense for him.
So
like everything.
Going back into him first encountering Isaiah White for the first time, right? He meets Isaiah. And what was Isaiah? He was working on what?
What you mean?
When Cameron first met him, Isaiah was doing, what was he doing to the animals, or?
He was skinning the animals, and he was like, "Oh, would you do that yourself?" And he even answered the question if he did it himself or not. And then he started just breaking down. He started breaking down why he was doing it, and he's talked about how before football became what it is today, it was a game played by Indians. And it was played by the natives, and they was really good at like tossing the ball a certain way. You know what I mean? Like doing like the running back side passes and just throwing it a certain way. That was their thing. And I guess when the European niggas came over to America and they trying to take over and do certain things, when it came around to playing this particular game with them, they will always try to be extra rough. Hence why you have games like rugby. That's they shit over there. We don't play rugby over here. That shit too rough. You die playing that shit, right? So have you seen niggas play rugby?
Not really.
It's a really rough. It's a version of football, but way more rough and not that much padding and shit. It's really
but they have
up.
like those sticks, right?
No, you think of lacrosse.
Oh,
rugby is like football. So. Them going back and forth. So he starts explaining to him about how the Indians is playing the game of football, and the reason why the quarterback was the most important position. He said because the Indians was throwing the shit against these European niggas, fucking them up playing the game because they're able to be, outsmart them. Like, oh, these niggas mad, so I could throw it over their head and get it around and get the touchdown. These niggas always wants to be rough. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Either way, he broke down this cool history about how it started off with the Indians, the indigenous people, and then it became what it is today as football, and now the Indians is just mascots for the game. Hence why you have teams like the Washington Redskins, which I believe was one of the first few football teams ever created, which is why it was a big deal when they changed them from the Washington Redskins to the Commanders. People kept talking about the Redskins is racist, with the woke, you know what I'm saying? They had that whole woke debate about the Redskins and their name and the logo. They changed it to the Commanders to make people happy. Mm-hmm. But that's, for those who don't know, that's what it is. That's the reason why it was so important. Anyway, and a lot of these shits are Indian based, not just in this movie, but around this world, in the United States. A lot of shit is you could tell it was taken from the Indians, but they still kept the names, you know?
Yeah. So the entire film after this point is breaking down into 6 days, of course.
Right. He has a 6-day like grind training. The first, what he do the first day?
So
remember?
Day 1, they labeled that day fun, right? So that was pretty much Cameron's like physical. Like it was kind of like what it is when you have class the first time, like the intro. What is that? I'm trying to think of a certain word.
I get it though.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they didn't know, just measuring.
It's an introduction.
Yeah.
It's a physical. Now I look at the fun as humor, aka humiliation, because they made Cameron strip down naked in front of everybody while he did his physical. And that day was his first injection of something unknown when you're watching the movie, right? They make it seem like, that the sports medicine doctor, which his name is Marco, I believe. Was it Marco? Yeah, I think. This is going to help with your head injury, right? Because Marco's job as like a sports medicine tech or physician is to prevent injuries, or if you have injuries, to heal you, right? And so he kept injecting him throughout these days with an unknown substance, but later on it's revealed that it's blood, and we'll get to that, right? So Day 1, they labeled it as fun because, it's just the beginning. It's just the intro, right? They're just gonna give you a physical, see where you're at, where your health is at. And it's just like, to me, it was humiliation. It was like the beginning of a humiliation ritual. How do you look at that when they had him stripped down naked?
I mean, yeah, definitely could be a humiliation ritual, you know what I'm saying, in the form of it. They tell drop your pants, la la la. And all they did is really measure him and keep having conversations with him about, what he's stepping himself into. Then told him to put his pants up or whatever.
But it's still like stripping you down.
Right. Bare, you know what I mean? You're in front of men and you got to strip yourself down. They call it that brotherhood, you know what I mean? And Marlon Wayans is already kind of gay as it is, you know what I mean? Like, he kept doing like kind of gay shit the whole time.
Yeah, and then you'll also keep seeing a theme of Cameron, after he's training through the days, taking ice baths and hopping in saunas.
That's what they do, though.
I know that's what they do, surface level, but you got to look at it symbolically as kind of like a satanic baptism. It's because remember, the whole theme is transformation. Like, he's transforming during his time. So that was kind of like the first day. The second day is when it gets dark.
Starts getting dark,
That's when it starts getting dark. It's called Poise. Very interesting that they titled it Poise. But go ahead, break down the second day. That's the day when they're starting their drills. And the first drill that they were running was they had this individual that was just to stand and get hit in the face every time.
So he brought him, and I started looking at some football replays to see if it was even a thing, and it was. So the quarterback, he got to throw that ball within 2 seconds. So it's one shot to know that. For those who watch football, he don't really have 2 seconds to throw the ball, but he had 2 seconds to make a decision, right? And he got to be quick about it. And if he didn't throw that ball within 2 seconds and get it to the receiver, the dude who she's referring to, he gonna get hit in the head with a football. And it's not not a light shit. They got the football on that spinning wheel machine that shoots it out to you, and they're turning up the speed every time, so the football's hitting him even harder. And he's telling him, that's your teammate over there. Your teammate's gonna suffer every time you flop, because when you the quarterback, everything falls on you. The fame, the defeat, everything. When things ain't going good, that's your fault. When things are going great, that's your fault. You gotta take everything as a quarterback. You're the leader. You're the person of the team. So your teammate's gonna get abused every time you fuck up. If you don't throw that ball in 2 seconds, he's gonna get hit in the head with a ball. And they did that shit mad times. And then Marlon was doing this to make him tap in, and kept just like yelling at him like, you a bitch, la la la. Just coming at him to get him into that mode and just getting that anger out of him, making him tap into what it is that he needed him to tap into, which was that energy. You know what I mean? Energy harvesting him. He's like, okay, he's ready. Let's go. And then he started to tap in. But by the time he got in, his man's was fucked up. But his man's was proud about the fuck up.
So in this facility, right, this compound, it's a lot of sacrificial lambs, if you get what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that are there to just, further the cause, further the game, further the team, right? So the guy was brutally getting hit in the face, nose bloody, like his whole face was messed up. And he didn't look at it like, oh, I'm in pain, even though he clearly was. Like Dutch said, his reaction was like, whoa, I'm so happy I was able to help.
Right.
I'm just so happy to be here. Like, I'm just happy.
I'm just happy to be here.
I can be here. So you're going to see this theme of these different people who are willing to be sacrifices. Because remember, the whole theme is like, what are you willing to sacrifice? Right? Mm-hmm. And so as far as day 2 being named poise, if you have poise, you're cool under stress, right? Mm-hmm. People with poise, they can handle like pressure, without showing it. And like you said, with a quarterback's job, they really have to be poised in a sense. Right. You gotta keep the composure. Yeah, they do. So that was the first day of dark. It was it was annoying to hear that shit hit that nigga's face. It was like, I can't. It was a hard scene to watch for me. I was just like, come on now. Right. I was like, this is kind of brutal. That was really the first 2 days. Now day 3, they labeled it leadership. Okay? And this is where it really gets into more of the theme of what are you willing to sacrifice. Isaiah on this day, he talks to camera and he says, his motto is not God. He's like, he said, have you heard God, family, football? He's like, yeah. He said, well, my motto is opposite. It's football, family, and God. Yeah. So he's like, to be the GOAT, you must put the GOAT above all things. Get it? Like, right. You got to put Satan first. Right. And then on this day too is when the possessed fans, like these psycho fans, they broke and entered into the compound, his house or whatever, and they tried to kill Cameron. Now, what we haven't touched on is Cameron's going through different hallucinations throughout this entire movie. And some of it is like, goats trying to kill him or people trying to kill him. And then that was his first experience that somebody was actually trying to kill him. That crazy fan, warlock, witch looking bitch. Oh yeah, I forgot to point out that in the beginning when he first got to Isaiah's crib, he took his phone away. He wanted him to be he said no social media, no nothing. I want you to be focused on just football this whole time. So this is definitely a way for them to get your brain focused in on what it is that you need to do. Mm-hmm. And also, again, my MK Ultra, mind break you a little bit, Yeah. But yeah, so you talk about this fan. So he was in the sauna talking to Isaiah, talking to Marlon. He's in the sauna. They having this conversation about. He's like, what was it that made you, tap into this GOAT shit? Like, what, like, how did you feel? And he started telling him all this extra shit. And he said this crazy fan came in there, and he has to defend himself. And he chokes this fan out. He chokes her and kills her. And everything. And as a matter of fact, I think we're skipping one thing. Because before he killed the fan, I think also on day 2, he had another drill that he had to run football-wise.
And these guys are like trying to not attack him, but it's going to tackle him. So as a quarterback, you also got to be good at avoiding getting hit and everything. And I think this is the one where he had asked him if you could pick two things, it's between not getting injured or what was it? It was not getting injured.
It was not being tired or never
getting tired
injured.
or never getting injured. And then he was still like, I think I'd rather not get injured because there's been a lot of people who've been right on the brink of being one of the greats and then they get injured. And then so they run this drill with him against to tap into this beast to see if he could avoid getting hit. Plus he got this brain injury, so he already knows he really needs to avoid getting hit. And he does a pretty good job with this scene. And then once he when he really just taps in to that beast. Oh, we forget another thing. So before he starts doing this drill, they have a doctor that's on site.
And I mentioned him.
Oh, you mentioned doctor?
Yeah, I did.
So the doctor keeps injecting him with the serum. And we don't know what the serum... At first in the movie, we didn't know what the serum was. We didn't figure that shit out till later on. But he injects him with this serum that for those who do watch sports, you know that they do have these different shots and shit that they could give these niggas to make their body just like go into like overdrive and they don't feel no pain.
Like steroids?
Yeah, almost like... Well, I don't think a steroid goes into overdrive. You don't feel no pain with steroids. But yeah, kind of like a steroid that they give these niggas. And they were just injecting this nigga with this shit all willy-nilly whenever they felt like he was going to need it. And anyway, he taps in to this energy, and then one guy was trying to tackle him, and the way they showed the scene was pretty cool. They like a cool little X-ray vision of the helmets like clashing head to head.
It's like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it's like a head-to-head comeback. And you know, for those who watch football, you know head-to-head shit is a no-no. You can't be hitting niggas in the head with your helmet head on. You would get fined and booted and kicked out the NFL for doing shit like that nowadays. But they did that shit head on. And at first I thought that was it for Cam. I thought Cam was out the game. But actually, in all reality, whatever beast that Cam had tapped into, he had hurt the other dude, Cam. So now they was like, okay, yeah, he's tapped in. Now his brain injury is irrelevant. You know what I mean? Now he's fighting back. And that's what Marlon wanted. And when the dude was laying on the ground, the nigga looked like he almost died. You know what I mean? And they started to chant, Saviors, amen, Saviors, amen, right over this nigga's body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they huddled around him in a circle.
Right.
That was ritualistic.
Another ritualistic, like another sacrifice for
he might have died. That
yeah, it looked like he died in that scene. And then moving forward, then you get to the sauna when he's resting, having that conversation. Then that next fan comes from underneath there was like these demonic white fans that this nigga had around the house, and it was like a really weird, awkward ass scene where after Cameron defends himself because the fan was trying to kill him in the sauna, he chokes the bitch out, and the fan wasn't fully dead. Like she kind of came back up and then tongued down Marlon for a second, and Marlon did something like he threw her head against the wall and killed her. It was weird. And
he was like, yes, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
The dedication.
The fans' dedication.
So he's loving it. He's feeding it. Just like how all the celebrities, when they reach out to the crowd, all of the energy. This is like Travis Scott with his sacrifices at Astroworld. Like something like this.
Right, you know? Yeah, somebody died for this shit.
Like, yeah, somebody died for this shit.
Yes.
You know, like that, he was getting off to it, you know?
Right, he was getting off to this shit.
He was really getting off to it. Like, he was just like, he was really into it. Right. So that was day 3 leadership. Why do you think they named that day leadership? I guess that was kind of like the third day was kind of like he's really transforming into this new person, kind of, right? Right. He's not there yet. It's not sealed the deal yet.
Yeah, he's not sealed the deal, but he's getting there.
He's getting there. Right?
I think they call it leadership because, like I said, that first drill with your man's is getting fucked up by this football every time.
No, that was day 2.
That was still the same day, though.
No.
No? Oh.
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
That wasn't day 2.
Well, so yeah, that happens. And then things start getting more weirder and more weirder. He takes this ice bath. They almost drown him in the ice bath. They're doing everything they can to make this dude's body just transform into this beast, and then they keep on injecting him with this serum. So in between time,
that leads us to day 4, resilience, right? So I think it's important that we sit here and highlight the resilience part because, again, going back to the whole like GOAT, right? the whole goat head and the goat spiritual meanings, it's like strength and resilience, right?
Right.
That's really that's one of the meanings. Like, you have to be resilient, you know? And then that just comes down to these people and what they get themselves involved with when they, you know, sell their soul to the industry. Like, because they sit here and they do all kinds of fucked up things to these people to, like I said, break them down to build them back up into this new character.
I also forgot to mention that when he first came to the house, he's introduced to his wife, to Isaiah White's wife. She gives him a stone. Like one of the rock bitches stones. It
was an Asherah type of pole. That's what it was shaped in. And
she was, I guess, selling and stuff or whatever. And told him, does this for your energy, your chakras, la 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 la, right? And she gives one to Cameron. And she's like, put it in your butt.
Yeah.
You know? And then he just looks at it like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah, so, you know, if you guys are familiar with it, then you already know that all these different people, they use that as deity worship, things like that. So yeah, that's what it was. Like, you know, like the Washington Monument is shaped in an Asherah pole, right? Other towers in Rome and London. Yeah. So either way, that person is funny because, you know, clearly Isaiah's wife, that was an arrangement. Like, it just shows that with the industry too. That was clearly an arranged marriage. Mm-hmm. And like we said, it felt like we was looking at the white chick's character. It just looked like a fucking nigga bitch. Like, it really did. But what day was it when, what was the day when, he got involved with the wife, and the wife had a whole bunch of women around seducing him, things like that? Because remember, we already know with the industry, they want to sit here and they want to take you. Listen, they secluded him. They took him away from his family, from his mother, his brother, and his woman, right? And now they got him in this facility, breaking him down, pretty much inflicting trauma on him, injecting him with an unknown substance, right? Because, you know, even in the industry, they like to, you know, get these people hooked on drugs, like Diddy, shit like that.
Bill Cosby.
And so then you get freaky, like Diddy. And then you start having, like, freaking, you know, parties. You know, you don't party with me no more type shit. So that's what they showed, too, as far as, you know, the sex aspect of it. Because you know that they use sex as, you know, magic and rituals, too. So they were showing that, seducing him with these women and the wife and the he, she shit. So what day was it when he woke up and was like, hey, did you have sex with her?
Probably this next day.
Probably day 4. So I think we're on the same day, right? Yeah. So, like, even on that day, I think that's how they kind of started off. Like, Marlon's sitting here with a pistol in his hand. And he's, like, got it pointed at him. He's sitting here putting a pistol in his mouth and doing all kinds of crazy shit. Yeah, he was doing some crazy shit. And by the way, I will say that Marlon, this is not his first role playing in, like, a serious drama, you know, part. But he's good at it. I'll say that, you know? Like, he can play funny. He can play serious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they show that, right, Dutch? And then they also show a scene where he's shooting targets in the desert field, right? Mm-hmm. And they're shooting just little different things. And then there was a point where they put, like, this body in a gladiator costume. Yeah, like the mascot costume. And I'm sure there was somebody probably in there. I mean, there was, right?
I think it was the girl that he choked out.
It was somebody in that damn costume. We don't know. But either way, before...
And he says to him, he's like, let's do a deal. If you could,
He said, if you miss, I take your youth. I steal your youth.
Yeah, he said, I take your youth, which was like, pause, right? I take your youth. He said, if you hit, I'll give you whatever you want. House, car, whatever, right? And that was significant right there, folks. Think about that. If you... shoot this person, I'll give you whatever. That's not Satan, right? I'll give you everything you want.
Yeah, like taking the most high up in the mountain. Yeah, just bow down to me and I'll give you everything. Yeah.
And if you don't, I will take your youth.
Yeah. But Cameron, he flipped it.
And he was like... I looked at him and laughed and said, nah. He said, how about this? He said, if I hit it...
He's like, I take your position.
I take your position.
Like, I'm the new GOAT.
I'm the GOAT. And if I miss... I might let you stay one more year type shit. Like, he was challenging him. Now the GOAT shit came in because he's challenging his leadership,
status.
his status.
Yeah, him, right?
And he shot the nigga and he missed.
He didn't miss.
And I think, and at that point, Isaiah knew, like, all right, he's transforming. Now I gotta fight back.
So Isaiah, that was kind of like him trying to extend his time, aka his contract with Satan. He was trying to figure out a way, like, you know, let me get him, like, let me make this covenant with him, like, hey, you missed this, I take your youth. That means I take your talent. Like, I can play maybe another year or so. You
take
know?
Your booty hole. That's how I took it.
That's how you took it.
Take
that,
youth, yeah.
That too. It could be a couple of meanings, you know, like that too.
I think that's how Cameron took it too. That's why he looked at him like, nah, gay.
Yeah, but anyways, so yeah, when he took the shot, they show blood hit a sign, so I'm assuming there definitely was a body in there. This nigga's just catching bodies. Like, I'm counting the bodies, right? For all we know, that football player, when he was doing that other drill, he hit his head, you know, helmet with his head. That guy died. Then we got the Craze fan who died. So just a lot of death, a lot of blood, right? Mm-hmm. Day 5 is vision, right? This day is very interesting because you know what it is. Cameron's just doing photo shoots, right? Mm-hmm. It's like the glamour, it's with the Hollywood side, right? Like, oh, this amazing sports star, you know, doing interviews, like testing that. Like, if you watch LeBron James after a game, or LeBron taking photos for, you know, Sports Illustrator, things like that. Like, prepping him for the surface level material side, right? Like, prepping him to be this next mega star. And then what was telling on this day is they had a Last Supper photo shoot, right? And during this Last Supper photo shoot, he was telling a story of, like, why he's doing this shit. He's like, he's doing it for his father, right? Mm-hmm. And it's symbolic, of course, because the Last Supper, we already know that the Most High, Hamashiach, the Messiah, right? That was like right before he was to be sacrificed for humanity, right? Mm-hmm. Yah giving his son to die for the sins. And we go back to Cameron, his father gave him up to this industry, right? He gave his son to pretty much Satan to be the next goal. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to get there. But that's what the symbolic meaning behind the Last Supper photo shoot was.
Right.
So after the Last Supper photo shoot, Elsie takes Cameron to this full-blown Illuminati party. All right. The outside of the building says recreation. It's supposed to say recreation, like a rec building, right? It was like a dingy old ass rec building, but it's the recreation building. And so underground, they have this full-blown party with the owners of the team, the owners of the Saviors. So this was his entire, like, initiation, ritualistic party. They did everything that we know they do. Sitting here, the blood was involved. They out here sitting here killing people, sacrificing people. One thing is that when he, you know, pulled up to the party, he saw the sports physician, Marco. And Marco pretty much tried to tell him, like, to run, you know. And there was a couple of times throughout the film he was telling him to run. And then Marco himself, he even had, like, a little dialogue with Cameron talking about, like, he's gave up everything for him to be in the position that he's in. Right? So again, I'm going back to the little sacrificial lambs, all these different people playing a role, playing a part to further the game, to further the industry, to further the satanic agenda. And so during the party, you know, they sit here and they flash to, like, just bloody shit, like Elsie out here chopping up fucking somebody, right? Which turned out later to be Marco. And then they're showing all the fucking women and the sex and all this other stuff. Like, and he was sitting down with the owners, the coach, Pretty much, they just tested him, like, are you ready to move forward? And during the entire duration of Cameron's training, everybody kept asking him, are you sure? Are you ready? Are you ready to move forward? Are you ready to move forward? You know, what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you sure? They kept making sure that he was ready for this shit, right? And so I think it was the same day, or I don't know, they showing the head of the guy, the sports physician, they killed him during this fucking party. Just evil shit. That's what these people really do. They do the satanic rituals where they out here gotta have live hosts.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Mm-hmm. So that's what happened on day 5. Now day 6. Of course, it's called sacrifice. It's just so suiting for day 6.
Like I said, guys, this movie's very blatant. It's nothing like being hidden. Day 6, no, it's pretty much like graduation day for him at that point. The scene kind of starts. Cameron's like, he wakes up on an ice bath again, not on an ice bath, but on an ice tray, table, whatever. He has a needle in his arm. He gets off the table. He's feeling all weak, and he sees like this mad drugs, like on this little like pan next to him. So obviously he was drugged. And then he injects himself with the serum, which we later find out was Isaiah White's blood. And the reason why he's getting injected with Isaiah White's blood is because they're trying to transform him. They're doing, like, as the realist was saying, a blood in and blood out ritual. So for those who don't believe in stuff like that, they do be swapping blood. You could call it adrenochroming. You could call it whatever you want to call it, you know what I mean? This is what these niggas is doing to say they share the same blood. You know, I'm pretty sure it's super dark to be putting somebody else's blood inside of you. I think blood transfusions are weird, but I know it's needed for people. But that shit is just really weird and all, you know. And
yeah, it was the blood covenant, blood in, blood out. So he finally gets off the table and he's walking around the house, and then he finds this room that Isaiah White is in. It's pretty much like his Illuminati chamber room, and there's a stage in the room. It's a stage with a red curtain in the room, and Isaiah's just sitting there, leaning back, looking up at this projector of the fans, and within the crowd of fans is a bunch of people wearing costumes, and he's like, "Yeah, goat
man,
heads."
Goat heads." So he's like, "Yeah, man, this is what you do it for, man. This is what we do it for, you know, energy harvesting." And the room was red. And like I said, they had a symbol on the door, it's just a triangle with an eye in it. And at this point, Cameron's fully tapped into like this evil, like he's in, and he realizes the last thing I have to do is pretty much kill Isaiah to be the GOAT. He starts putting things together like, you know, if you the GOAT, and you know, and I'm the GOAT, allegedly you trying to make me the GOAT, you know, there's going to be one GOAT. And he's like, exactly. So in order to be the GOAT, you got to beat the GOAT.
Yeah, he put it together that, you've been injecting me with your blood. And
right.
then Isaiah explains that, too.
And then he starts breaking down, like, yeah, you see these other quarterbacks' football jerseys in here? I share the same blood with the first quarterback of the Saviors. I share the same blood with the second quarterback of the Saviors, the third one, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you know, it's like passing down energy. You know what I mean? We all share the same blood. It's just and it's just not really, really dark. I didn't even look at the numbers on the jersey. I thought there was a 31 and 33s in there. I could have been wrong, but I think there was a 31 in there on one of them.
Nah, it was like 10. It wasn't. I was looking for that too. It didn't show anything like specific like that.
Yeah. So anyway, so they get into this fake brutal fight inside this theater room, and to see who's going to, you know, pretty much be the GOAT. And Cameron says to him, you know what's more important than not more important, but something like what's more important than the GOAT, the mascot, or some shit like that. It was some weird little punchline he had that defeated the nigga. But anyway, he ends up killing Isaiah White, and as he kills him, he walks out.
His trophy with one of his Super Bowl trophies or something like that.
Nah, not even. He had beat him with a gold helmet.
Yeah, what's his face had his Super Bowl trophy in his hand, and that was encased too in a pyramid. They showed that too.
It was in a pyramid with 8 rings around it. He was trying to kill him with the trophy, but he failed at that, and then that's when they ended up fighting and everything because he realized what he had to do. He had to kill Isaiah, and Yeah, he defeats him.
Goes through the curtains, the grand stage.
It goes through the grand stage and
the football field.
It leads him to the football field, and they got this black and white checkerboard floor as he's walking out, and they got these cheerleaders. They got all these different demonic figures around with their goat costumes and heads and stuff, and then you got 6 people sitting at the podium. You got 3 or 4 of the you got the coach, you got the owners, just down the third, and then you got the white bitch and everything. They're like, hey, congratulations, now come sign your name. Come sign this contract.
And mind you, Cameron's bloody as hell. Right.
So now at this point, we want him to come sign his name in the blood. You know what I mean? Come sign your name here. Let's do this. And, you sure you want this? And Cameron stops and he's like, nah, I don't think I want this. After everything he went through, he's looking around. He's just like, I don't think I want this. And
Cameron noticed a picture on the table.
Right. It's a picture of his dad.
With the coach.
And himself. And himself as a kid. And
he put it all together in his head, and
then they pretty much said straight up, we groomed you.
This was an arrangement.
Your dad sacrificed everything for you to get to this point. You know what I'm saying? We found you as a kid and we groomed you to be here. This was destined for you. Don't you want to make your father proud? They kept trying to manipulate the death of his father on him to make him sign.
And that's exactly what it was. His father sold him to the industry like many parents sell their children.
And that was the gas about everything that people didn't even peep. The coach that was coached, the same white coach that coached your dad, had your dad groom you to be the superstar football player that you walked yourself into being now. Your dad sacrificed his own life for you to get to this superstar point.
Yeah, because his dad died. There was a point where Cameron was kind of walking away from football, but they had to kill the dad to continue on to groom him to you got to do it for your dad now because your dad died for this.
Trauma fuels these things.
That's MK Ultra.
And the devil will use your trauma against you all the time to make you do something.
Yeah, trauma-based mind control. It's systematic torture. It's like they gotta go through your consciousness levels
in order to get to you.
Inflict you with pain, terror, drugs, illusion. Right. That's what he was doing.
Trying to break him.
Even just oxygen deprivation. He kind of even went through that too, like him going underneath the ice baths and things like that. And that's what the head industry, that's what the head injury was. Like I said before, going back to what I said, that's the beginning of the MK Ultra breaking down the mind to build back the new character. Right. Based off trauma.
So at that moment, he was like, nah, I don't want to sign nothing. And because when he chose that he wasn't going to sign, his football instinct started kicking in. One of the demons that had hit him before was going to kill him again, because if you don't sign at that point, they would just kill you. And the demon missed his strike, and he was able to kill that particular person in that costume. And then this nigga just goes on a killing spree. He kills the wife.
The wife, she kind of slipped on her own knife.
Yeah, well, she killed herself. Yeah, she was going to kill him. She killed herself. And he ends up killing the owner of the team. He kills the nigga who says, we groomed you to stand a third, and I signed this contract. He kills the coach. The coach was threatening him, saying that we'll kill your family if you don't sign this contract, which is another very important thing. How many times have you watched that happen with celebrities? I put that on everything. That's what happened with Jennifer Hudson. That's why her whole family died, and the bitch gets put on fucking TV show. Are you serious? She gets a fucking talk show after her whole family gets fucking murdered. Are you dead ass? And she act like nothing happened. The bitch don't even talk about it.
She don't even talk about it.
Come on, son.
Evil shit. She thought she was going to be the next Whitney Houston. She thought that was her gold status, that she was going to get passed down to Whitney. Mm-hmm. But the devil said, "Psych your mind."
Blood with Beyonce and Whitney and all of them. See, this
she didn't even get there. She didn't even get to that. That's what I said. She got duped. She thought she was going to be the next biggest thing.
She thought she was going to be able to walk away.
She thought she was going to be Beyonce.
I feel like Jennifer Hudson thought she was going to be able to walk away after giving her that Dreamgirls role and all that other shit. I feel like she thought she was going to be able to walk away from the industry after realizing what was going on. And because she thought she could walk away, they just took out her whole family and rewarped her mind to where she's at now.
I think she gave her family up.
Or that.
I think she willingly did it.
But yeah, man. So he goes on a killing spree. And he kills all them niggas at that particular at the meeting for the contract signing. He killed everybody in there, and he spared the life of one person, but it didn't even matter because the devil was right there watching him the whole time. Because when he spared the dude's life, he put his weapon down and he like looked back at the Baphomet head that was behind him, and then as he walks away, you start like the man's body just starts moving into the middle of this satanic circle,
pentagram,
and he walks away on the black and white checker floor with the blood flowing from him, and all you see is this man's body just explode into pieces or whatever.
I think that was like because we already know that Satan is the ruler over all of this. The Baphomet was the ruler over all of this. So I feel like because they didn't get the signing, that it kind of backfired. Like, okay, Satan's angry because like that was the next energy, that was his next goat. So that's why that nigga ended up getting killed like that.
Right.
Cameron though, it's very interesting. Like, what the fuck is he gonna do now? Like, he's already tainted.
Right, he's full blown transformed at this point.
Yeah, he didn't sell out, but he
sold in though.
I don't even know what to say. That's the part with the ending, because it's like he didn't sell out though. He didn't sell to the team. He didn't become the sacrifice as far as his own body to turn into this new person to be the next GOAT. Like,
I mean, he did. He just didn't sign.
The new slave. He didn't sign.
Yeah, but he did transform though.
He did transform because of all the darkness and the stuff that he did and the death and the blood. And I thought that was
interesting seeing come like, it reminded me of people who...
like the one-hit wonders, people who kind of like touched the industry.
Yeah. Some one-hit wonders and then some... like even dudes who think they want to get into that Freemasonic stuff and they want to get into a frat and then they get to a certain point and they're like, nah. You know what I mean?
Well, there's some people who went through all of the rituals and then they're just now renouncing it. They're like going on
It don't matter how much you renounce it. You went through it all.
I know.
I'm talking about like this nigga, like, for one, it was unbeknownst to him what he was about to be going through in the movie. He kind of just thought he was just going to get some NFL shit going. He just went with everything. But I'm saying for people who consciously, like, went through the shits in school, I don't care if they're denouncing it now. You niggas did it all. Like, he ain't signed the contract. These niggas that went through all this shit, they signed the contract. They got the shit engraved on their arms and shit. You know what I mean? They signed it.
Yeah.
That's not like, oh, I'm going through my hazing ritual, and then I get to the crossroads day to graduate, and I turn around and say no. That's what I'm talking about.
That's another thing, too. The cross, there is. That's what they said. Like you said, it's the crossing over.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Like, niggas who get to the crossroad day and then turn around and say, nah, I'm not with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are the stories of people that you don't hear about.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much what he did. Killed everybody and kind of just walk away and the movie kind of ends. And
that's why the symbolism of the red and blue, kind of like the flag.
Yeah, he saw the red, white, and blue.
The cheerleaders, everybody else just kind of stayed how it was with some real evil. That movie was very satanic. It was almost like the devil cheered them on for killing off those last pieces. Yeah.
To the puzzle.
Next team now. Next team.
Yeah, or whatever happens. And the reason why I thought the movie was ass was because at that particular scene, like, I thought something more was going to happen afterwards. I was like, okay, he killed them off. Now what? Like, it left me with a now what? And I was hoping for a football scene. Like, I wanted to see, like, okay, he's doing all the transformation and she's about to be like some crazy beast in football. And a lot of people who seen the movie, they felt like this is a Tom Brady story. They felt like, for those who don't know, you probably don't know, Tom Brady's considered one of the greatest.
I know.
Yeah, quarterbacks out there.
I know that.
So they feel like this is just a repetition of what Tom Brady had to go through to become one of the greatest quarterbacks.
We can get to specifics, but really just it's the industry as the whole, and not just the sports industry. This is what everybody is fucking doing.
Right.
Like, this is what Beyonce did. Like, even going back to Chris Brown, because his mother gave him up, right, into the industry.
Right. Justin Bieber.
Like, with the GOAT titles, it does seem like Satan only does prop up certain people in the industry, because I feel like we all felt like Chris Brown was the next Michael Jackson. And we know Michael Jackson in his time was the quote-unquote Illuminati GOAT. But because there was Beyonce, even though she was a woman, she was in the mix. That's why with the whole Rihanna,
right,
that whole sacrifice, that didn't like the claiming that, he beat her up.
Right.
That shit really didn't happen. They had to derail his career Because they do that a lot with the Beyonce. She has countless stories of people having to derail other people's careers, right, so that hers could be this quote unquote GOAT status,
right?
Because
so
she took that.
Then I guess people, they didn't defeat the GOAT,
No, well, the thing. What do you mean?
When you look at it in a sense, if you basing off this movie, right? If you see other people's careers get quote unquote derailed because they want to keep Beyonce at this quote unquote GOAT status, then let's say these bitches had to go in that room with Beyonce and Beyonce beat them up. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why people were pointing out too that a lot of people are scared of her. Like when they win their Grammys over her, they gotta like mention her. Like I don't know if you've seen people break that down. Like they always have to mention her.
Yeah.
To give a nod to her, like.
But wow, I was in a category with Beyonce.
Or they'll be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Beyonce. Like I know you had such a, like even with Kanye doing the thing with Taylor Swift,
right?
I gotta tell you, Beyonce had the best
video all the time.
Yeah, like that right there. So we already seen that. Like we already see what they did to Michael. And like just like how this movie showed Isaiah White, Isaiah is like his Michael, like his Tom Brady in the movie. Mm-hmm. He had to come down, blood in, blood out. Same thing with Michael Jackson. They had to, mm-hmm. This bitch, when is her? Y'all know I've been saying this shit for years on this podcast. When are they gonna hang this bitch up? I guess it's after her little third act. Remember, she's doing act 1, 2, 3.
Right.
So I'm sure after the third act, don't be surprised if Beyonce start getting hit with all kinds of crazy allegations. They destroy that image.
Right.
Now, who's going to be replacing her? She's trying to have her fucking she daughter, Blue Ivy, replace her.
Right.
But that's up to, Satan, pretty much, yeah.
Right.
Of who's going to replace Beyonce. Right, but we're going to see in our lifetime her image be shattered and they're going to bring somebody up.
Maybe.
You think so? Maybe?
I say maybe. We don't know if the media going to do it. We know the people will do it. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing it for years trying to get it done, but we don't know if the media going to do it. The media might really try to, let her legacy die as what it is. You know what I mean? Not every artist gets the opportunity for their legacy just to die out as that artist that they lived as.
Some of them do, like Diana. They haven't touched Diana Ross, but was Diana Ross though like the Michael Beyonce status?
Right.
You gotta think about it. Like these people are all big, but there's always this one that's like at the forefront. Yeah, the biggest one.
And that's why I rated the movie as kind of ass. I was looking for a football scene, but other than that, it was very straightforward on all the symbolism and the Illuminati ritualism and all the extra shit. It was just one of them type of movies. It wasn't really too much. I could have waited for that shit to come on TV. I'm gonna keep it a buck. But yeah.
Yeah, it's ABC's to all of us.
Right, it was to me. Yeah, it was an ABC movie, and then I know other people was like they probably don't know what the fuck they just watched.
They are saying that, which is sad. That just shows you how many people are really sleeping. Like they really
don't know what they watch.
Like,
they're just fucking slow,
awake to any of this stuff.
And I think that's so disheartening. And Marlon, I don't know what you was trying to do with reaching this hard with some type of movie like this, but. I don't know if you thought you was going to wake niggas up because you ain't wake nobody up or anything. You just pissed me off a little more to look at you like a fucking Illuminati weirdo. That's why you got the scary movie shit rolling back again. You got the gay shit with your son. You know what I'm saying? He was championing the little gay shit with his son. He's doing all the rituals right now.
His daughter is a son.
Right. He's doing all the rituals right now as we speak. Like for these roles and for everything he got going on. He's doing these exact rituals. He got the sacrificing your kid's image for the faggots. And then you got
his whole family though. But one thing I will say, they kind of all gone unscathed as far as like not one of the siblings.
They're giving up everything to the devil.
I know, but I'm saying like not even like a sibling of theirs. Like their parents passed away, but their parents were old. I really think that was like some old age shit. But I'm saying like none of the Wayans brothers, like the Braxtons, they sacrificed their sister Tracy.
Like they're walking through like without too much crazy allegations. Yeah, like gay allegations, like whatever for them. We talking about some wild shit.
I'm just thinking about it's interesting that none of them like end up dying. Is what I'm saying. Like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like nobody would have thought the Braxtons would have gave up Tracy, but they did.
Right.
So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's that. Like Dutch said, the movie it's dark.
It's a dark film.
It's a very dark film. But it's just blatant. It's really showing you the evil, that nobody thinks these people are a part of.
Yep.
And that's what it is. So that's all I have. You have anything else?
Nah.
All right. Y'all tell us what y'all thoughts are if you saw the movie. All right. Peace out. Barakatha.
Barakatha.